Welcome to my YouTube online video tutorial series. At the end of this video, you should know how to sketch the elevation for a kitchen. Our kitchen typically has three main appliances. Our kitchen typically has a refrigerator, it has a stove, and a sink. All right. To sketch the section elevation for a kitchen, we first will establish our walls. So we'll start by drawing our first vertical wall. We then establish an elevation. From that, we establish our ring beam height, depth of foundation. So from the inside of this wall, we would offset from that wall to give the distance for the other wall in this case. All right. So here would be our footing. So our footing would fall someplace down here. From here to there, the footing. Your footing. All right. Below, from the finished floor to the ring beam is typically how much? From the finished floor, 2,000, from 2,700 up to 2,000, up to 3,000. Yeah, so from there we have a ring beam. What else do we have on this? What else do we have? On the drawing, we look on this drawing. We have a ring beam here, right? And ring beam here. What's the dimension for the ring beam? 300 by 150. Good. And above the ring beam, we have the wall plate. Yes, and the wall plate. What's the dimension for the wall plate? The wall plate is typically 100 by 80. Yeah. Wall plate typically by that. So this is our wall plate right here. Now, when you're looking into the kitchen, these are the things that you'll see. Well, here is the sub-level, here is the sub-level, and here is the super level. The super level encompasses the wall elevation or the section which protrudes above the ground. It encompasses the room and also the roofing detail. Below here we have the, can you tell me the different levels that we have below the finished floor? We have the screed. Yeah, so the screed will be the first level, right? Screed would be down here. Below the screed is what? Slab. We have the slab. And what's the dimension for the slab? The slab is, no, 100, yes. Yes. Screed is 25 to 50, yes. And below the slab, which layer do we have? We have the hardcore. Well, it varies from 150 up to 300. And you know, it's and more. In this case, you would realize that they ask you to use we must use the specification given here. So floor, let's say we are to use 100 millimeter thick reinforced concrete slab. So this should be 100. In this case, say that there's a sand/cement screed of 20 millimeters and a sand binding of 50 millimeters. All right. The hard core again should be 150. And we know the earth, that distance is relative. The footing here, from the height of the finished floor to the top of the ring beam should be 2,800. So this speaks to this distance from here, from finished floor up to the top of the ring beam. This should be 2,800. All right. What else do we know? The overhang. The overhang should be 450. And how do we draw the overhang? We draw the overhang if we're using AutoCAD. Well, first I will draw a line at 30 degrees. In most cases, or in some cases, they will not give you the angle for the rafter. If they don't give you an angle for the rafter, what distance do they use? Yeah. It is 150 by 50, the dimension, but what angle would you use? 30 degrees typical, yes. So what I would do, I would draw my rafter. I would draw the rafter here. Let's sketch this first and then we draw it. So I would then draw it here, then left click and then drag it into here. Question, how would you go about generating the overhang? Yeah. Draw. Yeah, so we would have our, let me use that different, let me use something straight line for this. So in this case, let us delete this, delete that, go to line. Oh, so we'll have line. Oh, what's that? So we draw a line from here and we would cut into the wall plate a little bit to create our notch. Yeah. Then we would offset this by 150 to get the wall, to get the we would then draw, you could use X line. You could use X line, XL vertical, and drop a vertical line right here. And then offset it. Or you could draw a line, draw a line here, 450, then go up. So this can be done one of two ways. I like to use XL. I use that XL vertical, and I would then click here, and XL would produce a straight line here. I would then offset this by the distance I want the overhang to be. So I'd offset this by 450 in this case, and say that cut right here. I would then clean this up. I would then trim off excess, trim off here, trim off down here to get that lower section. So I would then trim off here. So here, there to there would have been the wall. Yeah. And you then trim out inside there. So all of this would go on. So remember, to get the overhang, you simply draw a vertical line here, or you could even draw a line. You could even offset this. You could offset this to get the overhang. Yeah. Then you clean up all of those. Now, it is important to know that yeah, some roofs, roof design varies. You might have roofs which uses shingle, so they want you to use lats, or you might use could be zinc. With zinc, you would use purlin. Purlins are basically some horizontal, purlin or purlin are basically some horizontal pieces of board that they draw on top that are fastened on top of the wall plates. So these should have been those. So we have those there. We have those there. And then you would you would nail your zinc onto this. So you then place your zinc onto this. Then place your zinc onto this. So the zinc would be, well, zinc should be a little bit like there. So the zinc would be on this. Yeah. And then you would apply your nails. So you would nail here, at this point, nail here, nail there, you know, to fasten the roof here. That is one method. You have shingle roof, you have tile roof, you have other type of material that they use. All right, so typically for shingle roof, you would typically lay plyboard over this. So they would place plyboard over this, over the rafters, So you have plyboard being placed over the rafters, plyboard placed here over the rafters. Yeah. Over the rafters. Yeah. And then the plyboard here, and then the underlay. The underlay is basically a matte, a black matte-like material which acts as a barrier. It prevents water and moisture from entering the building pretty much. So you'll place the underlay here. Underlay will be placed here. Underlay will be placed here. And then your shingle would then be fastened onto the plyboards. All of this will be plyboard. Then underlay. And if you don't place your shingle is under this. So the shingles would be placed here. Shingle, shingle here. Shingle there, shingle all the way up to create the roof pretty much, right? Any question? Any question? If you want to include, no. The type of roof that you produce would be relative to what they ask you. Yeah. And it's important to know that the shape of the roof is relative to the type of roof that they give you, that they ask you to draw. Yeah, because in this case, this is a hip roof. And what do we know about hip roofs? Yes? What do we know about hip roof? Yeah? So hip roof kind of. What do we know about hip roof? Not necessarily square. Well, what are the features of hip roof? What distinguishes a hip roof from, say, a gable roof or a slab roof or any other roof, or a monopitch roof or a hip and gable? Yeah? The shape. What about the shape? What about the shape that distinguishes it? So it kind of like a life thing. Talk to me. All for hip roof, all the sides are pitched at an angle. Yeah, all the sides are pitched at an angle. So this is one side. The side is pitched at an angle, pitched or sloped at an angle. Yeah. So all sides are pitched at an angle, as opposed to all the sides are sloped at an angle. I probably shouldn't use the word pitch, should use the word slope. We have pitch roof, we have monopitch roof, which shape like this, pretty much. So this would be the roof, this would be a wall. So we have these being sloped at one angle. So this is a monopitch roof, mono or single pitch roof. You have a pitch roof, which shapes something like this. Let me delete it and then move this. So it's a monopitch roof, and we have pitch roof. Or pitch roof has one pitch right there, one slope, and that's one side there, another slope on this side. So these are the walls, and a 3D representation of this would look something like this. Yeah, that's basically it's basically a pitch roof. Yeah. Yes, so it's the pitch roof. It's a pitch roof. What distinguishes a gable roof from a pitch roof from a typical, say, a gable, a typical roof? What makes a roof gable? Yeah. What's the difference between a gable roof and a regular roof? So a typical pitch roof might have so for this a gable roof, well, this would be a pitch roof, right? Typical the straight pitch roof. But a gable roof has well, the wall meets the wall is not square. The wall goes all the way up to the ridge board, pretty much. Yeah, the wall creates a V, or forms a V. That's what makes the roof gable. And a gable, call it gable end. It's pretty much a gable end. So that's what gives it that gable that we speak of. All right. Any other question on this? No? Okay. What are, can you tell me some of the basic components of a roof framework? Yes? What are some of the basic components of a roof framework? Yes? We have, what are the parts? Components are, what are the parts that makes up a roof? Yeah? What are they? We have rafters, yes. Just straight rafters? We have rafters, yeah. So we have rafters, RAF, we have ridge board, RAFTERS. And what's the dimension for rafters? 150 by 50 typically, yes. And what else? We have so we have two types of rafters. What are they? We have full length rafters, which are called what? Yeah. We have jack rafters and we have common rafters. Yeah. Jack rafters and common rafters. What's the difference between a jack rafter and a common rafter? Jack rafters are the short ones. Short ones. Jack rafters, the short ones are the jack rafters. The common rafters are the full length ones. These are the common rafters. These full length ones, these are common rafters. What is the name of this section? This part of the roof. This part. What's the name of this part right here? What's the name of this board, this piece, this horizontal piece here? Yeah. This is the ridge board. How about this one? What's the name of this one right here? This one right here. This one is the hip rafter. Hip rafter. And the hip rafter is always at right. Typically, hip rafter always bisect the angle that is formed here. So please make note. The hip rafter always bisect the angle that is formed. Always bisect this angle. It's always bisect it. Typically, this is 90. So we normally draw it at 45 degrees. Typically. But in a case where it is not 90 degrees, we normally bisect the angle that is formed. Yeah? Important to note. What else? Which other component do we have for the roof? Yeah? So we have fascia board, right? What is the dimension for the fascia board? 225 by 25. Yes. All right. So that's basically that for that. Any other question? No? All right, guys.